welcome to Fearox Frank Reviews. Today's episode is Collateral Damage. So my third episode is a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Not the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I wanted to do, but considering what today is, I figured it'd probably be somewhat appropriate, in a sense. Collateral Damage stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as a fireman who lost his family, tragically, in a meaningless terrorist attack, in a sense. And I just want to stress on one thing. This movie was originally slated to come out in October 5th of 2001. And considering that we actually went through the September 11th attacks the prior month, yeah, this movie got pushed all the way back to February, amongst all things. And we were just lucky this film even got released at all. If you're an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, you're just lucky this film even got released at all. I mean, I was kind of lucky this film even got released because I was a Schwarzenegger fan back in the day. I still am, so. Oh, man. I mean, wow. This movie got pushed back several months. We're lucky it didn't get pushed back for almost a year, in a sense. But seriously, this film had a bad timing. I mean, seriously. The 9/11 attacks just happened the month prior, and this movie was going to be released a month later. We're lucky this film did not get released in September, amongst all things. That would have really pissed off a lot of people. Oh, that really would have been really bad timing and really piss poor taste. Yep. So, what's the synopsis of the movie? Well, Schwarzenegger is an LA fireman who lost his family in the terrorist attack, in a sense. And he's pretty much grief-stricken, and now, after seeing what the terrorists have done and their threatening demands on TV, he wants revenge, in a sense. But this is more like Schwarzenegger being a grieving father than Commando Schwarzenegger. Because if it was Commando Schwarzenegger, he would have dropped his ass over in Colombia and gunned all those motherfuckers down, Commando style. If you've seen the movie, if you've seen the 1985 film Commando, which I highly recommend if you're a Schwarzenegger fan or just a fucking action movie fan in general, check that movie out. It is pure 80s awesome action movie goodness, just pure awesome. And it's stupid, but so damn entertaining. This one is very dramatic. So it's completely like the polar opposite of what Schwarzenegger would normally do, where he would just gun people down. In this one, he's trying to infiltrate and look for the terrorist cell that's in Colombia. And to be fair, he actually does his homework. I mean, he looks up information on these people on the internet, just looks up how these terrorists work, in a sense, and he looks up the geography of how to sneak into Colombia, which he does successfully. He actually does sneak into Colombia via Panama, amongst all things. So, how does Schwarzenegger get his revenge? Well, he does get arrested, first of all. I mean, they catch him up. I mean, when he's in Colombia, he is arrested by the police because he's in the country illegally, and he runs into a bunch of ATF people who confuse him for a terrorist, in a sense, but he is also an illegal alien, practically. So he's arrested, and he meets somebody in jail who turns out he's actually a technician for the Colombians, in a sense, for the guerrillas. The guerrillas needed a coke mechanic dealer, in a sense, because they're making coke all the time, and the machines break down. So the guy he met was actually a mechanic. And so he convinces the guy to give him a pass so he can get into the guerrilla zone. So, which he does, in a sense. And the guerrillas, they see Schwarzenegger come in, and they look at his pass. It's like, okay, go ahead. Anyway, Schwarzenegger had a fake ID, and he made up a fake bogus story that he's actually a German engineer, which they believe. And okay, so he goes into like the coke making area. Though he actually does fix the machine, but he also takes a couple of things with him, in a sense. He also grabs a grenade. He sabotages the entire area. So once he's finished with it, he sets off an explosion that actually destroys most of the machinery, and the guy who let him in gets killed. And so he actually does wind up meeting he actually does wind up catching up to the terrorists who actually killed his family. Now, earlier, a couple of days earlier, Schwarzenegger had saved a boy and a woman from being hit by a bike, in a sense. And that does play in the movie a little bit, because when Schwarzenegger finds the terrorist, the grenade he grabbed from the coke area, he kind of rigs it to get ready to explode, but it's on a very weird ass timer in a sense. So he puts the explosive where the terrorist is. The terrorist's name is called El Lobo, the wolf. And so he leaves. It's like, okay, just walk away. Terrorist will be dead soon. All right, but he noticed something. Just right across the street, in a sense, walking towards the building, is the same woman and child he had just saved the day prior. It's like, so he just yells at them to get away, get away. The terrorist overhears it. It's like, what the? It's him. So he jumps out of the building just before the building exploded. So just mere seconds, he would have Schwarzenegger would have killed him, but Schwarzenegger's screaming just alerted the terrorist, and by mere seconds he got out. And of course he co-cocks Schwarzenegger with a gun. And he starts beating the crap out of him. All of his men come out, and like the woman she tells him not to kill him in a sense, and so he just knocks him out. We later see him at the terrorist camp, is where he's in charge of in a sense. It turns out the woman is actually the wife of El Lobo, in a sense. And we get to discover a bit more about El Lobo. He's a ruthless bastard. He is unmerciful. He is just a cold-blooded, cold-hearted bastard. But it turns out we learn more about his back history. He turns out he was a teacher. He was like the kindest, sweet teacher you'll ever imagine. He just taught local peasants how to read, write. He was a mathematician. He was just a great teacher in a sense. But the guerrillas actually came to their village one time. He only talked to them just for a few times. It says they came, they left, nothing more. But ATF soldiers, well, they came in, they started gunning everybody down, and, well, Claudio lost his son during that time. And so something snapped in Claudio, and he became El Lobo. So, yeah, so after the wife leaves, El Lobo and Schwarzenegger have a bit of a talk a bit in a sense, and Claudio, aka El Lobo, just looks at him and he says, "You know what I see? I see myself in you in a sense." It's like, "Yes, but I'm nothing like you." "How so?" "Well, I'm just gonna kill you." And they get into a bit of a scuffle, and like another guard. So basically, it was Claudio the wolf and some other guy in a sense, like his second in command. They're trying to beat up Schwarzenegger. But keep this in mind, Schwarzenegger is bound, and he's still beating the shit out of them. A third guy comes in, and Schwarzenegger just bites his ear off. In a sense, like, whoa, he bit off his ear. Go Mike Tyson on his ass. But El Lobo co-clocks him again. So that sucked. Anyway, ATF and the CIA, they actually found out where El Lobo is, and the CIA, who was actually one of the targets for El Lobo's attack in Los Angeles, goes there to get him. El Lobo left Colombia, and now he's in Washington somewhere to plan another bomb. So what happens? Well, El Lobo's wife is actually convinced, and she gets Schwarzenegger, and she takes her adopted son out of there. So the kid is not really El Lobo's or her son. It's actually an adopted son who lost his parents during the ATF attacks. So, yeah, the ATF attacks, they kill everybody at the village in a sense. Schwarzenegger fights one of the guys off and he just beats the shit out of the guy until the guy accidentally kills himself by landing on a mine or something. And the CIA tells everybody to stand down and just to get him out and praise him for being a hero. Schwarzenegger just scolds him for killing all these innocent people just to get me out. So I was your excuse to kill all these people. So, hey, I fight terrorists with terror. Nothing more. What the hell are you talking about? There are no terrorists here. The wolf isn't even here anymore. He's back in Washington to blow up another fucking building. What do you mean, where? I'll tell you. As soon as me and her and him are on a plane, because this woman is his wife. So they go to Washington, and, well, she tells him, so El Lobo does set a briefcase, which is supposedly to have a bomb in it, though. And, well, it turns out that the whole thing is a wild goose chase. El Lobo is in Washington, but originally they thought, okay, that he's going to blow up a mall in Washington, but nope. It turns out the FBI and CIA building that they're in right now, the federal building they're in, was actually the real target. So El Lobo's wife, it turns out to be in on the whole deal, and she was going to blow up everybody in the building. So, and the kid brought a toy T-Rex with him in a sense, and the T-Rex is filled with C4. Schwarzenegger noticed when she left and killed the agent that was keeping an eye on her. He went right back into the room, and he grabbed the toy and he threw it out the window just before it blows up. So he goes after her. El Lobo is all the way down in the basement in the sub area, and he actually stopped. Well, to be fair, they tried to get over to a motorcycle, but he actually closes all the gates electronically. And he does get his revenge in some portion. He grabs an axe, he cuts open all the gas main valves in a sense to make sure the entire area is filled with gas. So they see him in the distance, they start to shoot him, but one of the gunshots sets off a fire and they get caught in the explosion and he survives. And they somehow survived. I don't know how that was possible. It's one of the most disbelievable portions of the movie, but damn. Anyway, Schwarzenegger kills the wife first, and El Lobo just gets mad, beats the shit out of him even more. And he's about to set off another bomb. He says, "So, when were you going to kill me exactly?" Without even noticing, Schwarzenegger grabbed an axe and he said, "No!" And he throws the axe right into El Lobo's chest, killing him. So, yeah, the firemen killed the terrorist and stopped an explosion from happening. All in all, this was sort of a huge dramatic film, and I gotta be honest, I do kind of like it. In fact, I'm gonna watch it right now in a sense, because why not? It's a pretty decent movie. It's almost hits a little close to home in a sense where if you were alive during 9/11, people will always remember 9/11 in a sense. They remember what they did on 9/11. I remember what I did. I was a freshman in high school. My first shop class was actually environmental services, which is basically janitorial detail. Me and all the guys were all in the men's room getting changed to get ready to do some environmental servicing, and we wound up stopping and watching the news, and then we went home early. Truly a day I will never forget. Where I lived on a hill in the Meadowlands, in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, in a sense. Lyndhurst, Rutherford, North Arlington. Anywhere in those three towns, in a sense, where I lived as a teenager. The house I lived in for many years. I lived on the hill. I look down the street. I see the Twin Towers for many years growing up, seeing nothing but a giant pile of clouded ash and dust. Now I just see a big-ass building that Trump actually had a huge amount of money tossed into it. It's called the Freedom Tower, but it's now known also as the World Trade Center. But it's still called the Freedom Tower. Whew. What did you do on 9/11? I remember what I did. Speaking of 9/11, there was something else in this movie I gotta mention real quick before I stop the review. I'm sure you know Sofia Vergara. You know, she's very famous for Modern Family in a sense, but she was actually in this movie. In fact, she had a lot of scenes in this movie originally, and the movie was going to have her and her men hijack a plane because she worked for El Lobo. Yeah, the whole plane hijacking thing really hit too close to home, so after 9/11, all of her scenes were deleted. So they got rid of all of her scenes in a sense, and they had to do some more reshoots to film around those scenes to actually make up for them. But damn, way too close to home with those scenes being into this movie. Whew. So, what am I doing for 9/11 today? I'm gonna have a nice cold beer and watch this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Don't worry, I'm not gonna get too all mellow or anything. The next movie review I'm gonna do is an obscure Godzilla-style film. Yeah, I gotta talk about this one next. So, let us not forget. Until then, be good.